Right, so today we're going to be taking this brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross XLS model out for a test drive. The XLS, we've noticed on our dealership, there's huge demand for this vehicle. And what people are doing is looking at its price point for what it's got to offer. So the XLS model here comes stock standard with keyless technology, push button start, rain sensors, light sensors, pedal shift, Tiptronic from the gear lever, CarPlay, touchpad audio command, and not to mention it's really good styling. And on top of that, the vehicle comes with a 10-year 160,000 kilometer powertrain warranty, 5-year 130,000 kilometer new car warranty, and 5-year 130,000 kilometer roadside assist. So before we get going, we're just going to run through a few things that I've mentioned at the moment. Right, so just to show you with the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross XLS model, when I say keyless start, it's a smart key system. So the beauty of this, the key's in my pocket. So an important thing is, how do we know if the car is locked or unlocked? Well, on the door panel here, there's a little black button. If I push that, the car's locked because your side mirrors go in. If you want to unlock the car, you just push that there, your side mirrors go out, you know the car's unlocked. Sometimes if you're in a rush or a hurry, and let's say you accidentally leave the key in the car, or it falls out your pocket. The beauty is if you get out the car and you try and lock it now, the car won't lock. The only way that's going to work is if the key's outside the car. The other important thing I want to focus on is on the Eclipse Cross XLS is just its styling. So we've got really beautiful bold looks. We've got 18-inch alloys over here. We've got black wheel arch trims with your skirting on the side doors here, which actually blend in really beautifully with the car. We've got big side mirrors with your indicators, which are situated in the side mirrors. Really big windows, so visibility in this car, and as we test drive, I'll show you how fantastic the visibility is in this car all round. Right, now that we've focused on a little bit of the side view of the vehicle and what features it's got, okay, I really want to focus on the rear of the car. So what Mitsubishi on the Eclipse Cross, on the XLS model, what they've gone and done here, we've got split glass at the back. What that does is phenomenal visibility when you're driving the vehicle, because we've got good view from there, plus this back part here. The other fantastic thing is, if you actually have a look at how high up our rear lights are situated, so in terms of your indicators and your brake lights and your night lights, I mean, visibility from behind, anybody will be able to spot this car a mile away. Not just because of this layout, but also its beautiful bold design and looks. The other nice thing is we've got really a nice soft touch when it comes to opening the boot. And as you can see here, stock standard, we've got a screen at the back. So if you've got valuables down here, you don't want people to see, the screen's here. And if I want to close that, it situates like that. The other great thing is if I want to drop the seats down, I just pull a lever there and my seat goes down flat. The other really good thing that they've focused on, if you've got all your groceries in, we've got such a nice handle over here, which I can actually pull the vehicle down and close it with ease. One of the important things I want to show you today with the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross is how clever the design is. For starters, entering and exiting the cars is one of the biggest problems people have got today, because everybody says the cars are too low, it's not the right height. I think the Eclipse Cross has got the perfect balance. Just to give you an idea, have a look at this. If I open up the door, it opens up a lot wider than your normal conventional doors. The other thing is, if you look at the side here, sills in most cars protrude outwards like this. This runs totally flush. So when it comes to entering and exiting the motor vehicle, I can actually do it with utmost ease. I can sit down like this and swing my legs around. Extremely comfortable. The other thing is just grabbing the door and closing it from here is nice and easy. Right, when it comes to travel, passenger comfort in the rear is key. One of the fantastic features with the Mitsubishi XLS Eclipse Cross is the fact that this back row, I can actually, according to who's sitting in the back, but I can actually slide this forward and back, creating more space. Now this works on both sides, so I can do exactly the same over here. The other nice thing is I can actually tilt this seat up here forward and backwards, giving maximum comfort to your precious cargo in the rear of the vehicle. Right, now that we've run through a little bit on the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross XLS, jump on in. I'm going to show you what all the hype's about on a test drive. Jump on in. Right, now that we're sitting inside the motor vehicle, the first thing I want to focus on from a driver's perspective is how incredibly comfortable this car is. I want to get it set to my driving position, so what I'm going to do is I can slide forward and back here with ease. I just want to lower my seat down slightly. Yep, and of course I've got telescopic steering, so what I can do here is I am going to drop the lever and I can move it in forward, up and down, but yeah, for me that seems pretty good. My side mirrors seem perfect, they're nice and big if you have a good look there, so visibility for me on this drive, I think I'm going to enjoy it. I think everything's going to be visible all around. As I mentioned earlier on, the XLS model comes stock standard with things like a push button start, which is situated here. We've got pedals, which we can operate the car manually from here if we want, or we can do it from our gear lever, which is situated down here. The other great thing with the vehicle is it's got automatic lights and rain sensors and light sensors. So your light sensors are situated here, so I'll just move it to auto, and my rain sensors are on the left hand side. And that's terrific, because when it comes to a car like this, especially in New Zealand, we've got 5 seasons in one day. But if it starts raining, my wipers will automatically come on and work according to the amount of water hitting the windshield. And if I'm driving and there's a differential in light, my lights will automatically come on. In saying that, the vehicle has got daytime running lights, so they're on all the time, irrespective of what the weather's doing. So my visibility to oncoming traffic is always going to be good. Oncoming traffic is always going to spot the car, not just because of its daytime running lights, but also its fantastic bold design. Right, so what we're going to do now, if I want to start the vehicle, I'm going to put my foot on the brake and I'm going to push the start button there. So the other thing I'm noticing straight away, just sitting in the vehicle, these clocks are so visible. The lighting's good, the color's good, and everything is extremely accessible to me. The other thing is, a really important thing today is communication when it comes to driving. Now, I'm going to show you our CarPlay system. Now this works off either an Android or an iPhone. I run an iPhone, so what I want to do quickly is just show you how easy it is to work. If I, for example, take my normal charge cable, the great thing is here you can see we've got 2 USB ports. So what I'm going to do is just put my connection in, take the charger, put it to the back of my phone, okay, and what will happen is on my main screen, which is situated at the top here, I'm going to unlock my phone and we can see straight away there's my maps, so we can tell exactly where we're situated. And this video footage that we're starting off with is shot here at Wairo Park in Greenheath. The other thing I want to do very quickly is, before I start the drive, I can see I've got 2 messages, but I'd like to send my daughter a message. So what I'm going to do is just push my talk button here, send Cara Manson a message.
What do you want to say?
I love you and have a fantastic day. I will see you later at home. Love, Dad.
Your reply to Cara Manson says, I love you and have a fantastic day. I will see you later at home. Love, Dad. Ready to send it?
Yes.
I'll send your message.
How easy is that? The fantastic thing is, if my daughter was to respond to me, it will actually talk her message out. The other great thing is I can play my music from here and everything's totally accessible. One of the big problems you've got when driving today is, if I'm in a driving position like this is touch screen, so I've got my music, I've got my maps, I've got everything situated directly from here. However, look what Mitsu's gone and done on the Mitsubishi XLS Eclipse Cross. Here's my touchpad auto command system. So if I push my home base over there, have a look. There's my CarPlay, which is my phone. I can then scroll by using this pad, and if you have a look there, there's my radio, my phone if I want my phone, Bluetooth audio, and I've got a whole lot of other systems I can use here. So let's have a look at vehicle information. By tapping vehicle information, I can actually see how this car is driven on a day-to-day basis. So there's my fuel efficiency consumption. I can reset it. So my mode's been totally changed now. And there we can actually see what the car will be doing as we drive. And what I'm going to do is push my home base again. And because we're doing a demonstration, I'm not going to be listening to the radio at all. So I'm going to actually cut that off, and I'm also going to just take my phone out. Because in this particular case, it's about the driver, about the passenger, and what you can experience on a motor car like this. The test route we're going to do is going to be, I'm going to focus on a few things which are important. Number one is the height, my visibility, what I'm noticing when I drive, my comfort. I can tell you right now that this car is incredibly comfortable. The seats, everything's just right. The width is right, the stance is right, the comfort level's right, and I can assure you, with those seats that I showed you earlier on that can slide forward and back, I can guarantee you your passenger in the back will be incredibly comfortable in this car. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to put my seat belt on. That's a have to have. And if you have a look here, this car works off an electronic handbrake. So all you're going to do is push it down to deactivate it and pull it up to activate it, which is terrific. So we're not worried about a handbrake anymore or a foot brake. See that there's a magical little button here called auto hold. Before I drive, it will only work if my seat belt's activated, but what I'm going to do is push the auto hold button. And when we get back to the dealership, I'm going to show you exactly what the auto hold button does. But for now, I want to focus on a couple of things. Firstly, we're going to do a nice lock turn in the parking lot up above there, because I think this car's got an incredible turning radius. As a matter of fact, the car's stationary, but I can take 2 fingers here and just turn the wheel all the way around. And I can do exactly the same to the opposite. So I tell you, phenomenal. I'm going to now put the car into drive, and I'm now going to just deactivate my handbrake. The car's ready to go. I'm happy with my settings, I'm happy with my steering wheel, I'm 100% happy with the comfort of the vehicle, and off we go. I've got the air conditioning running over here, and I can tell you something, it's a pretty hot day today. It's 26 degrees Celsius outside, but my temperature inside the car is beautiful. It's just holding so nice. The other thing I'm noticing, just starting off, I mean, it's really comfortable and really quiet. So let's talk about the turning lock, because this is a really important factor today in maneuvering vehicles. So if I come in with a sharp turning lock all the way to the right, let's just see what the turning lock's like. So comfortable, so easy, and I'm going to keep it in the same position. I'll tell you something, I don't think you're going to find many cars or crossover vehicles today which give you the height that are going to maneuver like this vehicle at all. The other thing I'm going to do before we get onto the road is I'm going to show you how fantastic the parking, or how easy it is to park this car. So a key factor here is, I'll give you an example. So what I'm going to do is, we can see there's a whole lot of parking bays up here. But I'm going to come in and do I'm going to do a reverse park. So I'm going to swing around, and what I'm going to do here, and if you have a look at the screen here, I'm going to put the car in reverse. Oh, look at that. I mean, we've got a big camera. That green line there tells me that I'm coming in perfectly parallel on this park. I can back up. Wow. That's absolutely insane. I mean, the visual aspect that I've got from that camera is incredible. I can see all the markings, I can see the grass, I can see the trees behind me. Incredible. As a matter of fact, can you just open the door there and just have a look? Can you see the white lines? I bet that's a really, really good parking. The other thing is, if you're doing a parallel park, and you see it on all cars today, is you'll notice that always the left hand side the wheels are scuffed. Now this car's got beautiful 18-inch alloys, so I'm going to show you, give you a little demonstration on how not to scuff your alloys. So let's say I was coming in here and I'm going to use these wooden sleepers here as my marker. So if I was doing a parallel park like this, I would swing the car around. When the green line there gets onto the sleepers, I would straighten out like that. And I know I'm not going to scuff my alloys. So if you can quickly open the door then, just have a look at where those markers are. So I've got ample space to get out of the car and in the car, and I know that my alloys aren't scuffed. Okay, let the fun begin. Let's take the car out for a bit of a drive. We're going to be driving from Greenheath. We're going to do a little bit of a motorway drive. And the reason I want to do that is just to focus on how quiet the car is. This motor is it's a 1.5 turbo. Now, I'll tell you something. This is one of the peppiest cars I've driven. It can be, from a driver's point, it can be as easy to drive as you want it to be, but if you're a driver and you just like a bit of pep and a bit of pickup, this car's going to do it for you. So we're going to do a little bit of a test on the motorway. We're at about 95 kilometers per hour. I'm going to put my foot down to see the pickup in the car, because I think those are the crucial speeds when it comes to overtaking, would be that 95 to 100 kilometer mark. The other thing, just looking in my side mirrors, I mean, my visibility is absolutely incredible. I mean, I can really look all around, and and my rear view mirror, remember earlier on I was talking about the split screen at the back. Now, my visibility at the back is, I've got quite comfortable actually. If I was to park at a school and back up, if I was to park in a shopping center, or even back this vehicle into my garage at home. So we're going to be turning right over here. And the other thing is, because I'm sitting slightly higher, for example going around that roundabout there, I mean, my visibility all around me is really good, and I think that's got to do with the height. But if you're talking about comfort, I'll tell you something, this car will not disappoint. And I keep on going back to what the XLS has got to offer for its price point. This car is $34,990 plus your on-roads. The other safety, I want to focus on safety on this car. Firstly, it's got 7 airbags, right? So we've got front airbags, side airbags, curtain airbags, and the driver has got a knee airbag as well, all right? We've also got ABS braking with EBD, so it's equal braking distribution from the front to the back of the vehicle. We've got side impact intrusion bars, so it's 5-star ANCAP safety rated. You can't get a better rating in terms of safety with vehicles today. The other thing I really want to focus on is 2 more elements that this car's got, which I'll demonstrate slightly later. The first one is lane departure warning. So for whatever reason, if we start drifting slightly off the road, this vehicle is going to warn us that we are drifting by activating a little beep, 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 beep sound. And in front on my clocks, it'll say lane departure warning, lane departure warning. The other one is what we call forward collision mitigation. So if I was driving and for whatever reason I take my eyes off the road and the car in front of me hits brakes, this car is going to warn me, brake, brake, brake. And if I don't brake, or the car feels I'm not in control, it's going to activate the brakes for me, which is a preventative measure, so preventing you from driving into the back of somebody. So we're getting onto the motorway here, and we're going to head out towards Hobsonville Point, and we'll be making a U-turn there and heading back towards the dealership. So what I want to focus on here, the other nice thing is, if you have a look on my clock here, my cruise control system, I've got normal cruise control, but this little button here if I activate that, okay, it's my speedometer set. So let's say, for example, I was to set the car at 100 kilometers per hour, which I'm doing now, and as I'm pushing that up, you can see 100. If I was to try and accelerate now, I'm putting my foot down, but if I was to try and accelerate over 100, and you'll see what happens. As I'm driving now, the car's governed. It will not go over the 100k mark. It's actually just holding it at 100 for me. But this is a test drive, so I'm going to drive the way I enjoy driving. So we're going to be taking the next off-ramp. Now on the motorway here, I'm noticing at 100 kilometers per hour, this car's quiet. I think Mitsu's done a really good job with the sound dampening in this vehicle. And running the 18-inch alloys, 18-inch tires, I think makes a big difference as well. But yeah, just incredibly quiet. So what I'm going to do is put my indicator on here. We're going to be taking this off ramp, and then I'm going to get back on the other side, because I want to also just at about 95k an hour, I want to put my foot down and accelerate and see what it's like. This will actually be a very good test. I spoke early on about the nice big side windows. So I'm at a T-junction now. So one of the big problems with T-junctions is your visibility looking left and right. So if I'm looking to the left, I mean, it's panoramic. I mean, I can really see everything so clearly. The other nice thing that Mitsu's done here, this is not a big column here. It's actually a very narrow column. So by doing that, it's giving me increased visibility in the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross XLS. I still can't get over the value for money in this car. I'm pretty blown away at what the pricing is and what this car's got to offer. So yeah, I understand what the hype's all about. Right, so as we're coming onto the motorway now, I'm going to show you, if I was to use a car tiptronically from my pedals, my left pedal's got a minus on it, my right one's got a plus. If I pull my left pedal, it's telling me I'm in 7th, 6th, and my right one is 7th and 8th. So this has got an 8-speed Cvt transmission. The beautiful thing is they've revised the mapping on the constant variable transmission, so it acts and behaves like a conventional gearbox. But what constant variable transmissions do, it gives you the smoothest drive that you'll find. So now I'm doing 95k an hour. So what I want to do is just put my foot down quickly to see how responsive this car is for a 1.5 turbo. Hold this quiet. And look at that, just climbing up. And I better slow down. And the reason I've done that was just to show you how this car drives. The other thing is fuel efficiency. So let's have a look here. I've got an eco mode button here. If I was to push that eco mode button, right, there it is. A slight change in the performance of the vehicle. It's not overriding the way I drive. It's overriding it slightly, but I can feel a slight change in the air conditioning unit, and I can feel a slight change in the motor. But what it's doing is the car's recalculating and is driving in a far more fuel efficient manner than what I would normally be driving on a day-to-day basis. If I deactivate it, yep, I can feel the change come in. So I think the message to drivers out there is, if you're driving in traffic every single day, or town driving, or built up areas, drive in eco mode. If you're going to get more bang for buck out of your fuel, eco mode's the way to go. On open road driving though, on a motorway now, that's when cars always going to give you the best fuel efficiency. Now, earlier on I was speaking about lane departure warning. So let's say, for example, I'm driving here and I was to slightly start drifting. And I'll do that again, but if you look at the clocks there, lane departure warning, lane departure warning. It's just warning me I'm drifting off the road slightly. So there's no better way to actually do what I've just done than to actually demonstrate it. So I've got two warning signals there. The first one is the beeping. The second one displayed lane departure warning, lane departure warning. So I can already pick up in this vehicle that if I was to take this car and drive it from Auckland down to the South Island, I'll tell you something, I think it will be incredibly comfort. And I don't think it's a car that you'd, I think it's a car you'd want to drive all the time, to be brutally honest. I just think it's a fantastic car. I think it's comfortable. I think it's got good visibility. I think it's got really the important features are allocated here. So, you know, forward collision mitigation is an important one. Lane departure warning is an important one. Our big side mirrors, because I mean, visibility so far for me has been really key on this drive. And the other thing is just comfort and quietness. You know, it's it's very tranquil to drive, very peaceful to drive. I have no doubt in my mind that this will be a terrific car. So what we're going to do is I'm going to be getting off the off-ramp here at Albany, and we're going to be heading right towards our dealership. This will be a nice one as well, because we're going to get into areas now where there's more traffic flow, and I'll explain to you when we're back at the dealership exactly how this auto hold button works down here. So there's the auto hold button, as I've been driving now and I've been stopping, has actually come into play on slight hills, etc., but I'll show you exactly how it works. Okay. The other nice thing is I can hear the indicators going nicely, so it's you know, it's really easy to put off and on, very visible. The other thing I'm really impressed about is the front, is the visibility on this front windshield. Yeah, it's got a lot going for it. By the way, that forward collision mitigation, how that works, in the top here, we've got some lasers. And those lasers are our eyes and ears, or more eyes and ears. You know, when you drive, you always got to use your senses, use your eyes, use your ears, use everything. But this car is just going to be picking up things that you might not pick up. And by doing that, it's just going to be exceptionally, or preventative measures to ensure that your driving is going to be safer for you and your precious cargo. The other thing I've noticed on this drive, which I really enjoy, is how many people, as I'm driving past, are actually turning around and having a look at this vehicle. And I think a lot of it's got to do with its design. And then of course this, you know, this electric blue is a phenomenal color. Yeah, just really, really good car. So I'm inviting everybody to come out to Simon Lucas Mitsubishi on the North Shore. We've got some highly trained and skilled sales consultants that will be able to take you out for a demo in this car and show you what the hype's about. I'm get it. You know, the hype in this car is phenomenal. Right. So as you can see here, we're getting up into you know, more traffic. It's just such an easy car to drive. Such an easy car to drive. And I'll show you now while I'm driving, actually. I mean, my touchpad command system here, everything's accessible to me right from this aspect where I'm driving. So if I'm into my music, I mean, for this exercise I'll push FM just to give an idea, but there's FM, all right. I can operate my volume and everything from my steering wheel. If I want to change my radio stations, I can just scroll from here. Yeah, so it's quite nice. Put the volume down. So yeah, everything's nice and accessible to me. The fact that you've got two USB ports over here, I think is really important. And then the other thing is at the back here, which you can't see right now, but there's another charge point here. So if you've got kids with iPads and you know, they need another charge point for their iPads or their phones, they can always just lock up into that one. A beautiful view up there of Rangitoto. Stunning drive. Right. So we're getting closer to our dealership now, and I'm going to emphasize a little bit on this auto hold button. So one thing that I've noticed when you're driving, or older cars, is that if you're in an automatic with a handbrake, you know, you've really got to adjust the handbrake so there is no rollback in it. Or if you're in a manual, you're really riding the clutch to make sure that there's no rollback. The beauty about this particular auto hold button is that we can hold it on a very steep downhill or a very a very steep incline. So we're very lucky at our dealership. We've got a nice steep hill there. And what I'm going to do is when I drive into the dealership, I'm actually going to be parking on the hill facing downwards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then put my foot on the brake and the vehicle will actually hold in place. If you work out, I mean, if you have got a very steep driveway at home, or you are on holiday somewhere and you're doing a parallel park, and it might be on a hill, down or uphill, I can actually comfortably do a parallel park without this vehicle rolling forward or rolling backwards, making my life a lot easier in a car like this. The other thing is with traffic today, you know, the traffic lights, there's a lot of traffic. There's nothing worse than stop and hitting the handbrake and stopping and hitting the handbrake or your foot brake. In this case, my auto hold button, I'm going to push my foot hard down on the brake, and as soon as I hit the accelerator, it'll deactivate. So you don't have to worry about things like that anymore. So yeah, I think for myself, getting in and out of the vehicle, the drive, the comfort levels, it's incredible. So here's our dealership, Simon Lucas Mitsubishi on the North Shore. So what I'm going to do is turn into our dealership, and I've got a nice steep hill at the back here. So as I'm coming in here, right, look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to stop that steep. So if you have a look now, if I put my foot on the brake, have a look here, see it says hold there. Now look here, my foot's off the brake, right? It's holding in place. So let's say I was doing a parallel park in this situation. What I can now do is put my foot on the brake, go into reverse, and as I come off, look at that. The vehicle has not rolled back at all, and we're backing up. And I put my foot on the brake again. I'm now going to put it in drive, move forward, and I'm just going to make a turn at the bottom just to show you it does exactly the same at the top. So you can see we've got a very busy car yard. And what I'm going to do is come out here, and in situations like this, if I put the car in reverse, look at that, I've got visibility all around me. And I'm going to be backing up and coming into a nice turn. So this is where it's good. Got such a good turning lock. I'm swinging around there, ample clearance. That auto hold button. So now we're just doing a reverse of what we did earlier on. So I'm coming up like this, and I put my foot on the brake. There's my auto hold light comes on. Take my foot off the brake, and let's say it could be traffic lights or roadworks, and as I put my foot on the accelerator, there's no rollback whatsoever. Coming into a nice lock to the left hand side here, coming in for a nice turn. Absolute ease. So we're coming into our dealership. Right, so what I'm going to do is just do a nice backup park in between there. Right, there we have it. The fantastic new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross XLS. We're situated here on the North Shore, Simon Lucas Mitsubishi. I really suggest you come in and take this car for a test drive. As mentioned earlier on, we've got some highly skilled staff, and I'll tell you what, I really understand what the hype's all about. This is one incredible car, and you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Thank you so much.